Greetings and salutations. Hopefully, everything is going well with you and yours. Man, it's game week. It's game week. So, we are going to finish our preseason preview. You know, we got thrown off once or twice, just lifing. But we're going to finish that up. We're also going to, hopefully get y'all a little excited about FAMU basketball, maybe a little bit. We just going to focus on the football more than anything. But we're going to get it out there, have a little fun, and hopefully end and start with a bang. You already know what's up. What's always going to be. Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Greetings and salutations. Again, hopefully everything's going good for you and yours. I ain't gonna even hold y'all. I may have to wait till Saturday morning to get that line up. Yeah, brothers. It's that time of the week, but it's also been that kind of busy. So, some good times, and So, but we're gonna get this going. We are starting and finishing with a bang. So we could finish our last couple games of the preseason kind of projection, and then remind y'all about this Albany State game. And don't forget, they bringing back that blessed cannon y'all people like. I don't care for it. I don't like it. But it's gonna be some fun. Rattlers and Arms tailgate is going to be fire. It's going to be an amazing situation for those who are going to be in Tallahassee, right? So, what's up? Good to see you, cuz. Good. Rattlers, we ready? We ready? What's up, little baby? Look, evening, all Rattlers. Yeah, I should put my football season scented wallflowers in tonight. Ooh, I ain't gonna hold you. I wore them people stuff from across the street today. So I was like, I will wear college colors. I'm gonna do everything in Tallahassee today. So that way we won't have no funny business. So I hope that light don't act stupid on me. Woof. All things taken over. What's gonna be y'all spot this week though? Like what's gonna be your seafood spot? Look, it is. What's up, Troy? Look, we're gonna see what it's gonna be, man. So, but yeah, end of the season, we're gonna start with a bang. Also, Rattler boosters, they are asking you come join the team behind the team. Also, if you are inclined and you are going to the Gump with the Rattler boosters, they got a new ticket deal going on where if you purchase a bus ticket, you can also purchase a football ticket for $45. I'm just putting that out there, putting that on wax. I had to tell the people, I had to tell my booster folks, hey, I'm not gonna be able to produce that for like a couple of days. I'm a little behind. We just had our golf tournament for the Winter Park chapter Cap outside, and I'm still editing photos. And I got something else. So I've gotten to the habit of I do stuff as it comes up. So next in line is next in line until it's done. So I don't bump folks unless it's for a nominal fee. So yeah, my spot is the house with this back spasm. Hey, where is it? Ooh, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Look, I ain't gonna hold you. This thing right here, I got on Amazon. Oh, yeah. I forgot how much I paid for it, but I'm telling you now, it wasn't $100. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't no $100 guy. Like anything other than shoes, I'm probably not your $100 guy. It's probably like a 40-50 thing. Like, I will say, like camera equipment, we did some upgrades. We're gonna see if we're gonna use it. We're gonna see. Like we might have some news. We'll let y'all know when we find out. You find out, right? That kind of vibe. Um, so yeah. Also, the Rattler boosters just purchased some muscle milk. I did get the picture about an hour ago. It's maybe not that long ago. So, but we did just get that. So I want to make sure we put that on wax, let folks know. Also, for those who are so inclined, if you are in the Tallahassee area tomorrow, yeah, I know St. Clair is the GOAT. But right now, running the show without the GOAT, but we had FAMU Hall of Famer Albert Chester come on the show. Albert Chester, the Pops, FAMU Hall of Fame quarterback, national championship quarterback. Just saying. So we had him on there. Talk a little FAMU football for a little bit. I'm also going to talk to Florida State. So don't get mad if you want them FAMU people that hate Florida State. Today wasn't the day. We start with FAMU. We talk about Florida State. Then I talked about the Gene Cox Stadium situation that might benefit FAMU. And yeah, so 6 o'clock, hallelujah, 95.3. Go be blessed by the best, right? So good times. But yeah. So some good events, good happenings going on. Ooh, let's go ahead and jump into the schedule because y'all know we just signed that basketball player, 6'9" basketball player, former pro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Before we get too deep into that SEC ruling about these pro athletes might help HBCUs just a little bit. Depends on what happens about them playing against those athletes. So we'll put that there in the show notes just for later. So hopefully we can get to that. But the game we left off on, it was FAMU versus Southern, I believe. So FAMU versus Southern. That is Halloween night. I originally wasn't scheduled to be there, but we'll see. Plans change. And so we'll roll with the punches. If my plans change, I'll be there. If not, then I'll be home. But yeah, FAMU versus Southern. I can lie to y'all. I think FAMU wins this one. Like, I think one of the things is just, we're just looking for the wins, losses. Y'all want to see who we got winning, losing. I got FAMU beating Southern. Like, I could lie about it. And it's not a disdain. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Southern was that school for me. If I wasn't going to FAMU and it was going to be a second HBCU, it was going to be Southern. Southern is that I have them high regards. But this year, I just can't see them beating FAMU right now. So I hope to be at that game. I'm with you. Like, you think that'd be tough? It's going to be interesting. Like, for me, I said this before. I like Marshall Faulk's humility going into this. Like, he's very much of I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure this out. Ho hum. Don't pay me no attention. I'm just little old Marshall. Which, I'm okay with that. And I think going into this game, I think they're going to take a L. So, yeah. Zico says, I don't think Southern will be tough. I think they'll be better than last year. But I'm probably leaning a little closer to Ezekiel. I don't think they're going to be tough. Especially if all things stay similar. I saw the depth chart like y'all. If you caught ONG last night, I'm with Gerald. Yeah. Next one is Valley. I'm going to jokingly say FAMU by 40. But I don't know how much of a joke it is. Like, I don't know did y'all catch that same press conference that I caught where Quinn Gray was talking about some of the teams we lost to? Like, he took that personal too. Like, one of the things I definitely liked about Quinn Gray, and I forgot to ask Dennis for the recording on Monday, but shout out to Gerald. I look, sometimes you get mad when somebody scoops you. Other times you love it. Normally, I'm on the second half of it. And this is one of those times I loved it. So just give y'all full disclosure. We did the coaches call on Monday, I believe, about 11 something. And we had Coach Quinn Gray on there. And one of the things you can't do with me is just let me sit somewhere quiet and not ask questions. Like I'm naturally inquisitive. I'm always asking questions mentally, but I may not say them out loud. And one of the things, even going through my pursuit of Kappa, one of the things was always ask a question. Like, even if you don't have one, find a good question, especially to ask somebody that is older. And so we had Coach Quinn Gray on. Obviously, I mean, it's the coach's thing, right? What's up, Kel? And in the midst of having Coach Gray on, I started asking questions. And I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't from a pure place. I wasn't asking questions of Coach Gray because I had good intentions. I was trying to kind of halfway get back at somebody, and it wasn't Quinn. But I remember somebody once said, like, yeah, he can't never be in comparison to his pops, what his pops was. I took that personal. I did. And I was like, give Quinn a chance. Like, he may never be that, but let him write his own story. Like, give his brother a chance. And it's just crazy him being the head coach. And so I started asking the questions. And I was like, all right. And I admit to really just kind of ask one or two questions, let it go. And when I came in, I was like, hey, asked him kind of about his dad's legacy. He shared about that. And it was different, man. Obviously, Coach Gray's father is no longer with us. But then asked him about kind of his experience, just in coaching, because y'all know I went to Lincoln High School. He coached at Lincoln. He's obviously coached at FAMU before. It's his second stint at FAMU. And so I got him kind of asking those questions. And then I finally asked him about being on the other side of this, being the coach who's also the coach dad. And that's where he kind of dropped that dime about, last year I had to even dismiss my own son from the team. I was like, dang, I didn't ask that question though. Like I didn't know that. I wasn't coming from that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna take y'all behind the curtain. I was really intending to write an article for the ONG Strike Zone thing that we're doing. So I was like, that was my idea. And I was going to write the article about, Quinn Gray's maturation, to being a head coach. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get Dennis to send me this. And the next day I see Gerald's article. And I said, dang it. He scooped me. But I sent him like, yo, that was a good article, bro. Like you wrote that. Like, so for me, there's always enough room for everybody. But I was like, boy, that Gerald wrote a heck of an article, man. So if you haven't caught it, really good article Gerald wrote about Quinn Gray and his dad. Also talked about his mom. Yes, the Substack. So that was going to be my article for the Substack this week. But we're probably going to lean into something in the recruiting angle. So I was supposed to have it that last night, but we're going to work on that. But yes, it was going to be on the Substack. So we're going to keep working that though. Keep working that angle. Keep trying to getting that out there. But that was huge. And just in general though, going back to Valley, Coach Gray took some of them L's person. Like, there were times when he was the coach, but there were times during his first interview where certain games, they bothered him. I don't think he's going to set out to embarrass T-Buck, but I don't think he's going to have a lot of sympathy. I got FAMU winning that one. So if you are concerned, want to know how I feel about it, I must tell you FAMU by 40, but I really mean FAMU by like 3 touchdowns. So again, is it FAMU by 40? Always. But in that one, I got FAMU getting the dub, man. So then I skipped Alcorn in there. That's push. I skipped the Alcorn game. I'm gonna say FAMU winning right now, but I also think that's a tough one. Like my instincts say be careful because I got it as a W, but if it was an L, I wouldn't be surprised. That's one of those games, one of those teams where they play different at home. And some of it is just the logistics of getting there, just even looking at that myself, like, can I make it to Alcorn? Can I swing it? That's like an hour from Jackson. Everything's an hour from Jackson. Like even Itabena, about an hour from Jackson. You, for us that aren't in that area that are in driving distance, you have to fly into Jackson, then drive. Yeah. I think we get the dub, but yeah, we all took those L's personal, especially blowouts at home. Oh yeah. Alcorn's a dub, but not an easy win. Now, I did go out of order. But the big Florida Classic. Let's make sure we address the elephant in the room. Y'all do know I am a huge fan of Tyler. I wish that kid the best. I don't think he got a fair shake of FAMU. But at the same point, and I'll be honest with y'all, go a little further. I've been credentialed by the University of Central Florida for their home opener against Bethune-Cookman. So next Thursday, there will be no show. I will be at the Bounce House watching BCU probably get their tails kicked. But I'll be there covering that game, partially because in this new phase of whatever this is going to be, I want to make sure that if we close, we try. So, but I will be there. So next Thursday, no show, but I'll be there covering the BCU UCF game. Just we want to make sure we're giving ourselves some publicity. Like I know what y'all hear, Fat Mouth Sports. We joke, we chive, but at the same point, when the jokes are aside, the reality is we need as many eyes on HBCU football as possible. The Florida Classic, they've announced the tickets are available. I saw somebody sent me an article. I just pulled it up and read it too. So I don't even want you to be like, oh, you didn't read it. Nah, bro. I read them articles and I actually do check the Fangs Up email, especially Thursdays. So it was like Kevin. Yeah, Kevin. Appreciate that. But and Kev from Tally. I saw that article. I'll say this. If you didn't see, they had like a write-up in the Orlando Sentinel. Wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but it definitely wasn't great. It definitely left something to be desired. Written by John Devine. Nothing against the guy. It's just you can tell maybe wanted to have somebody a little more familiar with FAMU write about FAMU. Call Gerald. But it kind of gives you like a rough overview. But I'll say this. That writing was targeted largely because the Florida Classic tickets just went on sale. So they're trying to kind of start getting the press reels going, getting people to start buying some tickets. They also understand that there will be reduced capacity this year's Florida Classic. Tailgate is going to be different. Just going to let y'all know, some folks, we might let y'all win the tailgate this year. It's not going to be the same. They're doing renovations to the stadium. About half capacity, a little more than half. It's going to be closer to like 60,000, maybe 50,000. But so they're opening it up for you to sell tickets. I don't think this game is last year's game. And I think the crazy part about last year's game, we all can understand, and I think we all can say, FAMU, we can argue that FAMU should have won that game. Like, I'll listen to anybody that says we should not have been in it. It wasn't close. We should have did more. I'll listen to anybody that wants to say that. But when I looked at the game, with all of our flaws, we still could have won that game. Like, that's, to me, the weird part. Like, the weird part about that game is FAMU was in it until the end, and we didn't play a great game. I ain't going to say we didn't play our best, but we didn't play a great game. This year, I want to know how big of a difference Tyler is for them. But they also had some losses, like roster-wise. And one of the differences between FAMU and Cookman in general is roster makeup. Like Cookman has to make their team a little more organically. Like they have to do a little more on the recruiting side versus where FAMU can do a little bit more in the transfer portal and say, hey, we're going to build this team through the transfer portal. We have the Fangs exchange. We have these other things that is probably doing a little more. Cookman can't quite do as much. Not saying they can't do anything, but they can't quite do as much. So I think that makes a difference. So I think FAMU's a better team. I think Tyler versus Knowles is going to be a good quarterback competition. I got to see how healthy Tyler is. And I'll say that out loud. Like, y'all know me, I'm going to cut it straight. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He struggled to get comfortable last year. Some of it was offense. A lot of it was the play calling. Some of it was, I don't think they called the right plays in the right areas. But I think going against a team like FAMU, especially with the coaching staff we have this year and the losses they had, that's going to be interesting. I think it's more physical than we think. I think as much as we are thinking Gulf Coast offense and sling it all over the field, I really feel like we're going to see a lot more just straight football. Like, I think it's going to have that rivalry piece to it where you're playing your rivals and you are about to do something. And it's going to be physical. I think this year's Florida Classic is more physical than many of us give it credit for. I think it's going to be a win, though. So, overall, I had FAMU losing 3 games. Alabama State, Jackson State. Those are my for sure, I know. We'll lose homecomings. But those are my 3. I think your upset specials, South Carolina State. Would I be wrong to say I wouldn't be surprised if FAMU wins that by like 2 touchdowns? I think South Carolina State's going to be a good team at the end of the day. But I think this is one of those games where you kind of come out and you look over and you're like, okay, I think FAMU is probably going to win some of these games. Like, that's just key. If JSU don't win, look, and I know we're not doing the whole pick'ems. I'm gonna add that, Troy. Yeah, I'm gonna add that. See if we can do a little Fat Mouth Sports pick'em so yeah, that's gonna be real quick, short notice. Didn't ask him for it. We'll catch people on the spot. For this week, normally we do a little pick'ems. I know it's a little different this year. So let me pull it up on the Yeo phone here. Let me see. Go to the games. Go to the whatever website app and see what they got. My picks are in. I ain't gonna hold you. My picks are in. They've been in. All right, so let's see. Oh, there we go. All right, so my HBCU picks for this week. I do straight up. I don't do point spread. I don't do none of that. So if you're looking for your picks for this week on whatever app that lets you do what you're going to do, I got Alabama State over Southern. I know what I said, that I was like, Southern could get an upset. Could get and will get is 2 different things. I ain't got no faith in that man like that. The other one, I got NCAT over Morgan State. I don't think Morgan State's that good. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you love Morgan State. I don't think they're that good. And I do think North Carolina A&T, while they're not very good in their conference, has invested in sports in that way. NCCU, I got them over Texas Southern. You can say what you want. I know NCCU got a new quarterback. It's It was minus 450 on that one, but I got them. And FAMU wasn't on there yet. But I got Alabama A&M over Howard. You can say I'm trying to get my get back from last year. I'll accept that. But I'll do a little graphic. Let's see if we can get Brian in on it too. But I just think, and I keep saying it, I got barbecue over wine and cheese. I think Alabama A&M has a dynamic quarterback. I think it's very sensible for anybody who wants to argue he is one of the top three. And notice, I didn't say number one, number two, or three. One of the top three in the SWAC. I think that guy Alabama A&M has, if healthy, is a difference maker. And I think he is a poor man's Trent, or QB Richardson that's with the Indianapolis Colts. That's my sayings. I think he's a poor man's version of that, and he might be more accurate and more dedicated to playing football. Like, Alabama A&M has the chance to upset some teams. FAMU's on that list. Those are my picks for this week. I already gave y'all the FAMU. They don't plan to get the eyes from the scouts or more receivers. Okay. Southern ain't getting no upset, but they'll put up a fight. Yeah, I told you, I do straight up ones. I don't think Morgan is that good either, but intrigued by the freshman Cole at QB from Jacksonville. I am too. Like, I hate we lost him, but I love the opportunity for him. Alabama A&M got to come through. They got to. This year, especially against Howard. Like, and if Cole plays, yeah. But I think for Alabama A&M, you have to beat Howard. Like, what kind of crazy world are we living in if Howard has a winning streak against the SWAC in back-to-back opening seasons? That's wild. Like, we're not gonna talk about last year, right? We don't talk about Bruno. But this year, if I had to put some like points between it, I think Alabama A&M was gonna apply a little B2A. Like, y'all gonna hear the Marching Maroon and whatever play a lot of songs in this game. I think there's a skill deficit. I think there is an overall speed deficit. I think overall, this is your game where if you gonna steal a little money from one of these people, that one. Like, the other ones, that's just keep being, I ain't reckless, but Southern Alabama A&M, like, if you just want to be funny and throw something at that, that's fine. I can't. In Cat Morgan, the game that scares me on here is that Texas Southern one. Like, appreciate it, Troy. That Texas Southern game is the one where I'm like, all right, Keith, you being a little greedy. Like, the number was nice though. Like, I ain't gonna lie, but I gotta see Texas Southern. Like, Texas Southern. It's just, even when they had Andrew Body, that curl just ain't never curl right. Like, they just that team. That's where I'm at with it. Like, I just don't see it from them. Like, there's a couple more. Like, but those are my big games. Those are my big ones I'm looking at. Don't know if y'all caught Tallahassee Democrats article, and this is something that I know I've said in the past myself, but if you didn't catch it, the Rickers versus Godby game was well attended beyond the capacity of Gene Cox Stadium. And in a recent article by Tallahassee Democrat, they talked about how we're probably not going to play that game at Gene Cox anymore. And we're in talks with FAMU about moving that game to FAMU. Yes. And I'll go even further. if I'm the city of Tallahassee and Leon County schools, I think the number that I saw to play that game at Bragg is about 20,000 plus. I'm not going to reveal my sources, but it's about $20,000 to $25,000 to play a game at Bragg Memorial Stadium. I don't hate that. Now, I ain't gonna hold you, but especially before the season starts, when you got Rattler Fan Day going on, I know it's a lot of asking upon the facility. What if, just putting that out there, you could have almost like a jamboree at Bragg? Not saying you play like 2-3 games in one day or mini games, but like have the weekend at Bragg and have your big games at Bragg. Like Guy B. Rickards open a season. Lincoln and somebody else open a season at Bragg. And you get some of your marquee games at Bragg Stadium. I think it's a good look. I think it's really cool, especially if you can invite a Reigns, some of these schools that have traditional lineages to Black colleges, or even invite a school like a Jones in Orlando up there and say, hey, kickoff, y'all playing at Bragg Stadium. Like, I think it's a winner. And I think it's a winner because, and I love that the Democrat kind of mentioned it and said, the city commissioner is on it, or the superintendent. But isn't that just another like showcase? Like in a quick 50K. Like you ain't do nothing for it. You just hosted some high school games at Bragg Stadium. Like break it, that's weird. Beginning at Bragg. Yeah, something like that. Like have a new Capital City Classic. Like something like that, to where you're bringing the schools in, they play games at your facilities. I'm just throwing that out there. It's not like FAMU DRS isn't already there. And if you really want to, you can make it something to where DRS kicks it off on Thursday night against somebody at Bragg. Friday night's another school. Saturdays are different. And you can even bring in DRS against one of the local schools. I think that's like a nice little goodwill gift. DRS versus Florida High. I mean, they're gonna get cracked, but still. Had that. DRS versus some other school. Like, just putting that out loud, seeing that, I think those are some of the things that make your program better. I also think you do the same with the basketball. If y'all miss Coach Pressure, she released the basketball schedule. You telling me you can't have a Capital City Classic at the Lawson Center? Like a whole day of basketball games at the Lawson Center, high school basketball games, and just be like, we're not charging Tuck. You're not charging the Tucker Center charging. You have the facility there, schools come through, and it's good recruiting. Like, do it there. Have your coaches come through. You can have a men's and women's situation where both the men and the women have games, and have it where it's 3 games per day for a weekend over a winter break. Maybe even a Thanksgiving break if you're feeling froggy. I'm just thinking, when the city of Tallahassee saying, yo, this event didn't go right, we should have ran it at FAM. That's a partnership. That's a relationship. And that's something that can make some money for the university going forward. So I'm just looking at that, and it's got me wondering, can we kind of get that going, man? So they got the better QB. Even the QB is better than ours. Yeah. I think Valley scored tonight. I think we should end the season on senior day. We've been saying, make these buildings pay for themselves. I agree. I mean, Florida State's been doing it. Well, they started doing it. Last year they had PBR. I know when I went to see T.I., I saw him at Doak Campbell Stadium for the low. I think the Silly has salaries to pay for that. Didn't they hold high school playoffs at Bragg? Yes, they did. Absolutely. And at this rate, no. They want to get to plug. Now, I know the recent ruling about these college football players. We talked about on Fat Mouth Sports a little bit. But I don't know if we went to this direction with it. Y'all know Keith's a little different. I'm not a huge fan of the players going pro and then coming back. But I will say this. This could help HBCUs. It could also hurt them. But if you start looking at it, all of a sudden, if these players happen to go pro and it doesn't quite work out and they try to get another year, what happens if they come to HBCUs? Because the SEC is ruling saying we're not having it. And they're almost at a place where they can block out these players completely. Will the Big Ten join them? Will the ACC join them? I don't know. But my other question is, if HBCUs join them and don't join them and say, you know what? Come on. We wanted you when you were a 0-star. We now want you when you're a 5-star. What happens to, one, the quality of HBCU football? What happens to the eyes that are on the HBCU players? Like, what happens when you get a guy like a Marquise Bell that kind of bounced around a little bit? Like, it's called spade a spade. FAMU was his third landing stop. And he was like, y'all made me feel home. We loved on him. Like, look at Thad Franklin. Look at some of the guys who've been successful at FAMU. I mean, Terrell Jennings, he was born and bred. Xavier Smith, born and bred. But you start looking, if these students don't get the opportunity at the NCAA level to play at the highest level, what if they get the level or the opportunity to play at HBCU after they try to go pro and it didn't work? Like, we've talked about HBCUs kind of being the minor leagues, and we heard what Marshall Falk said, like, he's preparing his players for the next level. But what if we're able to recoup them from the next level? Like, what if the HBCUs become that place where, hey, we got a few spots? And think about not just what that does for your FAMUs, your Jackson States, even though they're not good anymore, Southerns. Think about what that does for like a UAPB. Think about a Valley. I mean, Valley just got a big commitment from a professional football player's brother. Like, Valley's, this is their, third, fourth time getting a relative professional athlete on the roster. Obviously, John Morant's sister was there. What happens if a school like a Valley comes in and gets 4 or 5 guys that are bounce backs where you got your money? Come on here, get you another season. You might not be able to get $100,000 NIL, but you get to put some film out, maybe go and get some decent competition. What does that do for a school like that if they can flip on them rosters and do it quickly? Like, 2 years, they were at the bottom, and then the next year, they're one of the best. That would be wild, because all of a sudden, it does give them exposure. But it also, by season's end, will put some butts in the seats. And more importantly, that could get them the exposure that turns into dollars. You know, of course, I know he's ain't crazy about exposure. Exposure don't mean a lot to me. Exposure is important. Like, there's a part of everything where you need some type of exposure because you need people to recognize you. But you need people to recognize your name when it's your turn, so that when it's something that they can offer you and you fit the role, they're like, I think I want Keith to do this. He does Fangs Up. He does Fat Mouth Sports. He does boosters, does Kappa, does this, to that. He all right. I think he can do this too. And we'll compensate him for it. That's where you kind of want the exposure there. I think it was SEC ruling with them saying we're not allowing this at all. I don't know if it's short-sighted, but I do know this is an opportunity, and this is a door that is open for our HBCUs. So that's gonna be real interesting. Let's get OBC commercial real quick, so we can start to get up out of here and get y'all ready, man. Look, am I gonna see you in South Florida? I hope so. 1 week away. If you don't have your tickets, please, go out there and get your tickets.
Oh my God!
This is your invitation to the moment. The Divine Nine, the bands, the parties, the performances, creating memories with your people. So pull up to the 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. It just hits different. Labor Day weekend, Miami Gardens, Florida. It's the culture, the connection, the pride. One weekend, one experience, one big community. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com.
Get your tickets. We're gonna do the one for Quinn Gray before we get out of here. So I'm gonna just let you know. Look, I told y'all we had Albert Chester on today. I will be fully transparent. I didn't ask the question. Are we gonna have a radio show on? But he did say, hey, he got his car gassed up. So if the car is gassed up, we'll see. We do know, and y'all got to see in the 220 Club, and something is trying to be worked on as far as for those who are interested in doing this. So it's a thing. Now, is it going to be a thing by Saturday? I hope so, for my own selfish reasons. But I'll also say this. I think one of the problems a lot of us have with this whole booster network situation, radio-wise, is communication aspect of it. And I think this is another time where FAMU brass didn't communicate well enough. I think if there was better communication about just what it takes to do this and some of the intricacies and difficulties, I don't think you would get some of the backlash. Like, I've seen y'all up there posting about our AD. I saw it. Y'all saying he ain't nowhere. He was at the booster event. Like, I'm with you when you're right, but also I'm gonna not be with you when you're wrong. Like, he was at the kickoff. Did he get a plate? I don't know, because I wasn't there. But he was seen at the booster kickoff. I believe he was also at graduation. But I think the big lesson this season for anybody who is either Davis or after, one of the things I think we've learned through this is transparency. Like, I know I saw Brian's kind of joking thing where he's like, he missed Tiff. And we were writing and joking about it. But one of the things she did a good job was she was transparent. What's up, Gail? Like, where's the transparency? Like, in the game is Saturday. That part. And she says they handle us with a cold, long-handed spoon. Gotta stop that. Yeah. Like, I get it. You know, from the outside, it is what it is. Like, I ain't gonna tell you who I talked to, but I talked to somebody on Saturday and they were like, yo, things are cold. And I like, we are. But you know what? They were able to laugh at it because I wasn't coming at them left ways or anything like that, you know, but tongue in cheek, they were like, hey, this is this, da, da, da. Great conversation. Again, don't want to drop the source because I don't want to betray the trust, man. But I appreciate them having the conversation, right? So shout out, bro. But and it wasn't John Davis, but but I will say, I think the lesson here is transparency. Like, one of the things that this screams to me, this is a moment where you could easily win a PR battle with some transparency. I'll go on wax and say this. There's no reason Quinn Gray doesn't have a coaching show. Outside of the fact that you might be trying to find a sponsor and it's last but second, I don't understand why there's no coaching show. But even with Quinn Gray having a coaching show, because one of the great things about coaching shows, they tend to be a great way to supplement a coach's income. Like it's a good way for a coach to get an extra $20,000 to $30,000 plus traditionally. But it's also a great way for the AD to come up there and talk. Like, hey y'all, AD minute. Just every month we come up here on the coach show, tell y'all what's going on in FAMU athletics. Talk for a minute and get off the camera. And that's all you really got to do. Like, part of the reason our leadership is catching strays, the people don't like some of the decisions. Like, I get the SBI stuff that I'm with y'all. I get the people who have issues with the law school. I get that too. But when it comes to athletics, like little baby said, you handling us with a cold, long-handed spoon. You wouldn't treat some of your corporate partners the way you treat us. Like, and that's just being honest. Like, I think if we're honest about this whole thing when it comes to some of the issues individuals have with what we're getting from athletics and other departments, is the fact that you're not treating us like a corporate sponsor. Because if you're going to run FAMU as the enterprise, as the treasure and the gift that she is, then you need to let us know at least what you're trying to do. And it's okay for you to say, I can't tell you the intimate details, but we are working on some things. That's great. That's better than just silence. And I think the issue is for so many FAMU people and FAMU adjacent people is the radio silence. Like, I don't need to know everything. I know I'm a teacher. I've been a dean before. I've been on a leadership team, and I've had times where I couldn't tell everything that we talked about in the meeting. It just was what it was. But I've also had times where it's like, hey, I can't tell you anything, but just trust me. We see you. We're listening to you. We're doing something. And guess what that did? They got people off our back because they could see, okay, I heard you. I'm doing something. I may not be moving towards where you want me to right this second, but I'm moving to it. And subtly, I might do something to address it, but not completely. And be like, hey, remember I told you I was listening. I can't reveal everything, but you see, I'm kind of working on it. That builds confidence. So the reason, for instance, Rattlers and Arms are what they are, the reason Fang Exchange is what it is partially people don't believe in the systems in place. And you have to rebuild this trust because FAMU people are fanatical about FAMU. I'm telling you from the top down, they know how crazy we are about FAMU. Like, from the president's suite to the janitor's closet, they know FAMU people are crazy about FAMU. But the problem is they haven't been forthcoming with information, whether it's the people who are over athletics, who includes board of trustees members. I'm not going to say no names, but you got to do a better job communicating. Period. Because the biggest issue isn't that we just don't like you. I think a lot of times some of these people are kind of feeling like, y'all just don't like me. I don't like you. Like, you're not wrong. Like, some of us don't like you. And I don't want to say Keith don't like you. I don't care. I don't like your actions. I don't like your moves. And I don't like that you're trying to operate in secrecy like it's some big government secret. Like, I've been lamenting something Troy and I said on the show a couple weeks ago. A lot of people aren't going to vote for Byron Donald for an obvious reason. And we're not going to say it out loud. And now what am I seeing on social media? Instagram posts and people are like, they ain't going to vote for him because he looked like this. And you're like, shut up. Let them not vote. Let them people stay at home. Stop saying the obvious. I think this is the opposite of that, where it's just like, no news is good news. And that's not true. Because in the absence of news, there becomes speculation. And FAMU was small. FAMU was so small. The distance between the president's suite to the janitor ain't that far. And somebody's cousin got a cell phone. And you feel comfortable enough with somebody to talk because you need to talk. I've had stuff where, I've had to call one of my best friends. I call cuz I got to talk. This can't go nowhere, but I got to talk. Real cuz, you got this going on? Yeah, I got this going on. I can't tell nobody else, but I got this going on. Troy, I got this going on. All right, bet. Say less. Some of them got that, and they got them kind of friends that can hold water. Like, they've got to do a better job communicating. Like, yep, just tell us what's happening. Not saying nothing suggests you're doing something or something adverse, furthering the distrust. It's the optics. Y'all know I love that word. I love that word. Again, the 2030 optical prescription is not existent. And I'll say this. Some of it, you've got to show, you got to be in the community. You got to get seen. I can't say this enough. I know some of y'all's issues with our AD. I get it. But some of it is where you got to be seen. Like, I forgot who that was. That was Coach Pressure last night. She was on ONG like, oh, them freshmen know me. I be out there. I be telling them to come to the games. I'm going to do something special for them. Coach Pressure is like big auntie on campus. Like, I'm not telling John Davis to be on, but I am saying this. The community needs to see you. Like, come out to the NAA events. Join the NAA like Tiffany Dawn Sykes did as a person that's like, I didn't go to FAMU, but I'll join as an associate member, whatever. Bet. That builds confidence. That builds a relationship. And I think one of the things you're missing from your leadership, and the reason that the street committee has taken over a lot of things, because the street committee can find information too. Like, again, if you don't say anything, you leave it to the street committee and the rumor mill. But the problem with the street committee and the rumor mill is we look at this and we go do the internet research and find some stuff too and be like, we're not wearing LeBron jerseys? This is the last year of LeBron. Why? Why aren't we wearing LeBron jerseys? I got FAMU LeBron shoes. They're mad comfortable. I have 2 FAMU LeBron jerseys right there. Why do I have LeBron jerseys at a time when we're under contract to wear LeBron basketball jerseys, but we're wearing Nike? That made no sense. Like, but explain it. Like, if you got a better deal with the Nike, say that. If you got a deal and you have a coach where the coach has a shoe deal with this part of the company, and so you're trying to do whatever to honor that, say that. But say something. With the radio broadcast, if the deal's a great deal and you just didn't want to renew it, say that. If it was a bad deal that wasn't benefiting FAMU, say that. But tell us what's going on. Say you're shopping for a deal, because I promise you, you go to Publix and you get some Publix sweet tea, and you come back to the house and you come back with Milo's. I got questions. First and foremost, what is this crap? Like, why you got Milo's? I said Publix. And look, Publix ain't as good as mine's, but it's better than Milo's. I got questions. If you think I'm going to ask you questions on you bringing sweet tea and lemonade in my house, you darn sure better know I'm going to ask questions when I'm looking at the jerseys. And it's in Basic Betty's from last year. Them mugs was fugly. They were. I see Ohio State and these other schools have deals with LeBron, and they're still wearing LeBrons. Burp. Like, you don't have a stupid fan base. Impatient? Yes. Stupid? No. Irrational? Slightly. But will hold your feet to the fire and tell you about yourself and then lovingly pat you in the back? Absolutely. And that's the biggest problem that we have with our athletic department and others right now is a complete lack of transparency. And can we say the quiet part out loud? Y'all scared. Because you said it a few months ago, Chair Harper aired out. She emptied the clip on y'all, aired out the dirty laundry and made it known. Y'all ain't even dropping notes. Like, I think one of the best things that was on the Off Script channel was those Board of Trustee meetings because it made them operate in the sunshine again. They were not operating in the sunshine. Let's just call a spade a spade. They're not operating in the sunshine. They're not doing stuff to where every Floridian can easily access what the FAMU Board of Trustees is doing. Like, and that's not being mean. I'm not trying to be a harsh critic. I'm not trying to call those people anything. Notice I haven't called anybody high IQ, low IQ, nothing. I'm just, the facts are, when you try to go and rewatch or see what happened with the FAMU Board of Trustees, you better hope that somebody recorded it because it's not easy to find. The notes don't give you a lot of information. It's not very clear. And that's on purpose. And with FAMU athletics and other parts of FAMU, it's not clear what they're doing. Honestly, it just doesn't have a lot of transparency. And if that's something folks want to square up for, they can square up for it. But the truth is, somebody, as my dad likes to say, got to say what time of day it is. And it can be the nice guy or it can be Bobby. But if both of us are saying the same thing, where you get both ends of the spectrum, where it's the very kind of calm, rational FAMU person and the person on the other extreme that are now saying the same thing, there's something to it. As my dad like to say, more than one person say the same thing, something to it. I don't ask people to get fired. I don't call people to get fired. Very seldom. Yeah. When the last time I called for AD to get fired? I called for one to never get hired. And that wasn't even John Davis. That was Tiffany John Sykes. I'll say that out loud. Do I have questions about Davis? Abso-freaking-lutely. But he's here. And I also understand if you fire him, he's just going to replace him with another one. But I also understand this leadership team at FAMU understands that this next election cycle, if things go the way we all expect, yeah, might be some slow singing in some of them folks, boy. Be some pink slips handed out. And the way David Jolly is kind of saying these new metrics and saying it's a new 10-year plan and we're going to get politics out of college, that sounds good to a whole lot of us, especially FAMU people, because the unfortunate truth is the politics on that hill, they ain't bringing the money they said they were. They did a little something, but I'll tell you straight up truth. As a person who used to work for the College of Engineering, you can't never come to a FAMU thing and tell me the College of Engineering made X amount of dollars when I know you got to split that mug in half. If it's all coming to FAMU, that's one thing. But, oh yeah, the College of Engineering is bringing in $400 million. So 250. That's a great number. Oh, $10 million. So that's $5 million. Anybody stupid. We need better transparency. In all honesty, we probably need better leadership, but we need leadership that's willing to trust the fan base enough, to be honest, because a half truth is a whole lie. And right now, y'all like a whole lot of liars. Whew. All right, man. Look, Saturday. Ooh, sábado. It's going to be a situation. It's going to be a movie. For those of y'all that don't know, the Avengers are assembling pregame. 2 hours before the game, the Avengers are going to be assembling. We are going to have an amazing time. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're trying to make this a thing for all the games, where 2 hours before, we have a little pregame show. And then about an hour after, we have a postgame show. Talk about what the happenings were. We're still going to try to work out some of the logistics. But that's what we're working on. The Avengers going to be there. They're also supposed to be at that Rattlers and Arms tailgate. That thing's going to be a movie. If you did not get your tickets yet, I don't know what you did. Don't know what you was doing. I'm not eating. So that's why I didn't get it. I didn't get one, but I'm going to hit up Mr. Kinsey and see if they can get me a spot in. I pay my fee, but I don't plan on eating. Just 40 is 40, and anything with cheese is cheesing. So, I can't be drinking. We retired, brother BBBL, E. Scott. But it's going to be a situation. It's going to be a whole time. Troy said he need a table. Like, it's gonna be a situation. Worst come to worst, we need to see if we can do that thing in the press box somewhere. So yeah, it's another reason I want to hear her to be successful, because personality-wise, she's great to have in a room. Sell the program. Okay. We had to raise money for the men's basketball team. Thank you, Rattlers and Arms. And then the last one streamed to the off channel. It was mentioned that they wanted to control the narrative and that they meant no more media materials or also media minutes. And you know what? We definitely control the narrative a lot, but they can do better. I'll say this. The Avengers, we hear stuff. We're told stuff. We see stuff. And a lot of times, we do control the narrative, but we're also transparent. If the people who choose to take on the role of guarding FAMU, I shouldn't say it like that, but I'll say it like that, or being some of the voices for FAMU, are willing to be transparent and pick and choose, why in the world can its workers and people that are getting paid at least $200,000 each not be transparent enough to say this is what's going on? Because they're going to ask you for some money. And the crazy part is, only one of the Avengers groups asked you for any money. And even then, they put that money right back in athletics. So it's not like the Avengers are asking you for money. So if the FAMU Avengers can do all this for next to free, I mean, we're going to ask y'all for our articles. Yeah. But at the same point, you getting paid $250,000. You can do better. All right, y'all. Again, Saturday, it's going to be a movie. We on the road tomorrow. My bag's over there. It's packed. I got my Saturday clothes already ready. Sunday clothes is ready. So it's going to be up there. It's going to be a movie. Unfortunately, I was going to miss a homegoing service for a great man. If you knew Bob Anderson was one of the elders at the Springer Road Church of Christ, and mighty man. Bob helped raise me. So just in church, I could be a hot-headed person, and even in church, he just calm demeanor, man. So we lost a giant of a man. Funeral services, I believe, are tomorrow. I'm gonna miss him, and not just the services, but as a person. So folks, get away for him, man. Tell him you love him. Wish him good things, and hopefully we're gonna have some good times, man. I do have plans to see St. Clair on Saturday, so if you see me kind of running in the stadium and kind of rushing in, don't take it personal. I'm trying to do some visits and say some hey to some friends and family while I'm up there, man. So, all right, y'all, get ready. Fat Mouth Sports is about to start. Go get warm up some pizza. Go get your drink. It's 7 Up. It's not even Publix lemonade. I let the kids have that. It's 7-Up. But yeah, get ready, man. It's gonna be some good times over there. Troy, Marlowe, Lord Jamal, the whole gambit, and they have some guests. Okay, these are good times, man. You already know what's up. What's always gonna be. See y'all Saturday, and then Sunday. It's gonna be a whole weekend, man. It's gonna be a whole situation. Again, next Thursday, I'll be at the Bounce House. So you already know what's up. What's always gonna be. Thanks, up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey, have it!